I think it's safe to say that everything can be found in this little gadget. You can communicate with people, you can research, you can shop online, and well, you can even shop for a boo.
No. Perhaps.
Not really, but you know what I mean. Swiping, lurking, it might as well feel like we're window shopping sometimes. But although online dating can have its bad rep, I know plenty of friends who have had successful relationships come out of it. I mean, let's face it, online dating is becoming more of a social norm as we speak.
So you turn to Tinder.
Which is why I decided I'd give it a try myself. And well, let's just say there were a lot of things I learned from it where I wish I would have known what I know now. Which is why I thought I'd give you some insight if you're thinking about giving it a try too. Or if you've already tried online dating, maybe you can find my experience somewhat relatable or even helpful. In this video, I'll be providing you with 5 things I wish I knew before trying dating apps. I'm hoping these can help give you a better idea of what to consider before diving into the beauties of shopping for your boo. I'm totally kidding, but I hope you know what I mean. So without further ado, vámonos! Hello my beautiful people. If you're new here, my name is Carol, and in my channel you can find content relating to photo, video, faith, and lifestyle. So if that's of any interest to you, please consider subscribing to help your girl out. But let's cut to the good part now. So guys, I have to be honest, I've been trying online dating for quite a few years now. I want to say maybe 2 or 3. I mean, I go in seasons where I'm on it for a couple months and then I'm off and back on. And sharing this is kind of embarrassing for me. I think maybe I feel like I'm still getting used to the idea of online dating. Although it's a bit more normalized now, sometimes I can't help but feel a little weird or unsure about it at times.
You're saying it like you're scared. Don't say it like you're scared.
Abby.
Say it like it's normal.
I'll get more into details about the few dates and personal experience I've had towards the end of this video. So for all my chismosos out there, stick around till the end.
Now we're getting to the good stuff.
But like I said, from my few years of experience, I thought I'd share a few important things I wish someone would have told me before trying this whole online dating. So first thing I'd like to suggest is to identify your true motive. Take the time to really ask yourself why you're interested in dating in the first place. If it's just because you're feeling lonely or are tired of feeling single, I'd highly reconsider. If it's because you feel the pressure of friends or family telling you that it's time you need to find someone, this is more relevant towards like the holidays, please reconsider. Don't force yourself into a season if you truly feel it's not time yet. I can tell you from my personal experience, I've jumped onto these apps just from feeling the pressure of others.
Carol, what about you? Anyone special in your life? How come you're not dating? There's really no one special?
And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but of course there's this pressure that I then place on myself to where I start thinking,
Yeah, what about me? How come I can't find someone yet?
and if you're going in with this kind of mentality from the beginning, please take it from me, these apps are only going to make you feel worse if you're not in the right mindset of knowing your value and in a season of already feeling content being single. Another example might be if you just came out of a relationship. You might need some time to heal and consider waiting a few more months so you don't fall into rebounds or worse, be someone's rebound.
No ma'am. No ma'am.
Bottom line is, don't fall into the pressures you or others are placing on you for the simple reason of being single. The worst thing you can do is jump into these apps more because of the void you're trying to fill, rather than genuinely feeling like you're mentally prepared and healthy enough to start seeking a connection or a relationship. Let's move on to tip number 2. Go in with a non-negotiable mentality. So as most of you know, these dating apps quickly gain the bad rep from being just hookup apps in the beginning, which, let's be real, sometimes that's the case still nowadays. But thankfully, there are still apps in which you can find true and genuine people who are looking for serious relationships. And as a Christian myself, I think that's what I struggled with the most in the beginning. You see, I'm looking to have a God-centered God-centered relationship. And what that means is we're on the same page regarding our faith, our morals, and beliefs. I just can't see it working if that's not the case, to be honest. And in the past, I've made the mistake of allowing some wiggle room when it comes to finding a faith-based relationship, just from assuming true godly men out there are almost impossible to find. But that isn't true, and this is why I encourage you to stand your ground. Have this be a non-negotiable for you. If you want a Christian man or woman, don't settle for not having that, no matter
How spicy looking they are.
okay? I'm telling you, the devil is
A liar.
and that's how he gets you.
I will dodge those bullets.
One of the cool features I discovered in most of the dating apps is that you have the option to adjust your preferences, such as religion or if they're looking for something serious. I know Hinge, you can even choose some of your preferences as being deal breakers. So know that nowadays it's easier to adjust to your standards. Which leads me to my next point. Prepare yourself to be honest and communicate. While on these apps, I quickly realized it's very time consuming and can be draining at times if you don't go in with the right mindset from the beginning. You've heard this a million times, communication is key. And it's the same for these apps. Set your standards and your boundaries from the very beginning. You need to communicate what it is you're looking for, and if it doesn't align with that person, it's okay. It just means they weren't a good fit for you in the first place. Ladies, don't feel bad about having your boundaries. There's nothing wrong with not wanting to kiss a guy on the first date. And if he doesn't agree with that or doesn't respect that, then that's already a red flag. But let's say you go on a first date and you realize, well, you aren't really interested after all. My suggestion would be to communicate that. I know it can be scary to not want to hurt someone's feelings, and the easier route would be to just probably ghost on them. But I'm sure you wouldn't want that done to you. So my suggestion would be to let them know, hey, I had a great time. I truly appreciate you hanging out. But if I'm being honest, I just don't see us as more than friends. It can be so easy on these apps to just be like, not interested. But the more you communicate, the better your experience can be. And I'm sure the more you communicate and how you communicate, of course, to the other person will also appreciate you for that as well. Moving on to tip number 4. This is a process, so be patient. Don't view this as a waste of time or failure if you don't get the final outcome of getting into a relationship. I know I've made this mistake in the past, and it's something I've struggled with too when it comes to online dating. I used to get so discouraged and frustrated because I couldn't seem to land on the person I was looking for, or the person I was interested just didn't seem that interested in me. But I had to change my perspective. I had to start thinking about all the growth and the experience I was gaining through these dates. On every date, I was able to learn more about myself, more about the things I appreciated from the opposite sex, and it also affirmed the things that I didn't like from men as well. This is all part of your journey and your personal growth. You learn as you go, and it also takes time to get to know yourself in this dating environment you're placing yourself into. Now for my last tip, and that is be secure in your worth. If you're currently active in these apps or are really considering joining, truly ask yourself, are you mentally and emotionally prepared for rejection? Because if you don't think you'll be able to handle rejection well, then I highly recommend you wait this off. Rejection is almost inevitable on these apps. You will get swiped. You might not get as many matches as you had hoped for. You might very well get ghosted. Actually, the chances of you getting ghosted are pretty darn high.
All these ghosts, and I still can't find a boo.
Which is why you need to truly feel secure in your worth and go back to asking yourself, why are you dating in the first place? Are you on it just to fill a void? Because if you go in with a selfish mentality of satisfy your emotional or even physical desires, you're bound to get hurt. Or worse, you're bound to hurt someone else. One of the things I think I struggled with in the beginning was understanding that the number of matches I got on these apps doesn't define my worth. The amount of times you get liked doesn't define your worth either. This is why it's so important to remind yourself of where your true worth comes from, and that's from God. Now I know sometimes
It's like, yeah.
but honestly, guys, he's the only one that can truly satisfy that void of loneliness. He's the only one that can truly heal your open wounds. The only one that can truly comfort you through the rejection you're going to face. And not just in dating apps, but just rejection in general. And if you find yourself seeking dating apps to just satisfy your loneliness, I'm telling you now, you're only gonna end up feeling worse about yourself later. Take it from me, as I have made these mistakes in the past with dating apps too. Okay, so where are my chismosos at? If you made it this far, congrats, you're a real one, and know that I appreciate you sticking around this long. And so, as promised, I'm now going to share a bit of my personal online dating experience. Guys, I'm telling you, it hasn't been easy. I think any one of my close friends or just family would be able to testify to the fact that I just haven't had the best of luck when it comes to online dating, and I've had quite the experiences with guys. Overall, thankfully, like the guys that I went on dates on, they were great, they were gentlemen. I was actually surprised of how the amount of Christian men that there are out there, which honestly, like, you don't find a lot, which is pretty cool. For the guys that I did hit it off with, some of their excuses, or I don't want to say excuses, but the reasons as to why they weren't interested, I can tell you one of them was, the general, I just feel like God doesn't want me to be in a relationship right now. And I had another guy, he was in the process of deciding whether or not he wanted to be a monk, which I don't know, maybe he was being serious, I don't know, but it took me by surprise. For sure. There's another guy, actually this was in the beginning stages of COVID, and hit it off well. I thought he was really interested in me. I was really interested in him, and he was attractive, he was a gentleman, like he picked me up, he would buy me flowers. All of a sudden he gets really sick, which I think he had COVID at the time, and then just ghosts. And I tried getting in contact with him, and out of the blue he was just like, you know what, I thought things through and I actually am not ready to be in a relationship. But yeah, I think that overall I've tried online dating good enough amount of time for me to feel like, I just don't think it's for me. As of now, I just feel like it's not for me, but who knows, maybe God can call me to it later. But I think the biggest takeaway for me has just been that I went in it, yes, with the goal of like, you know what, I want to try online dating because you never know, like maybe I could find my future husband there or whatever, right? I went in it with the mentality of I want to get into a serious relationship, but I think that was my mistake. I think if I would have changed my perspective to thinking, you know what, I want to try online dating, whether I get in a relationship or not, I just want to gain the experience for my personal growth. And just being in that time of prayer with God, I genuinely felt like he was just reminding me of, hey, even though you didn't walk out of this being in a relationship, I still want you to know I got you, and you did learn a lot. I did learn a lot about myself. I'm trusting that God has already written my love story, and I am still hoping, to find that special someone. I just don't feel like it's gonna be through online dating. Again, I don't know, but so far I've been hitting dead ends with online dating. So you get to a point where it's just like, okay, I think it's time to give it a break. And I'm kind of in that stage already. Well, folks, this now concludes my video on 5 things to consider before trying dating apps. I hope I was able to give you some helpful insight or things to think about when giving this whole online dating a chance. If you did end up meeting your significant other through online dating, please comment below. I'd love to hear your story or your experience, or just fill me in on your online dating experience in general, because I want to be a chismosa too. Okay, well, I'll see you next time. Adios.